So you remember Riley Gaines? She was assaulted. She was that swimmer who was forced to compete and share a locker room with a biological male.
With a real champion, you mean?
With a real champion. So you remember what happened to her? So here she is. She was trying to give a speech or a talk.
And then she lived out a Ricky Gervais bit.
And then the pro-trans activists got threatening. They assaulted her twice and physically made her stay in. They made her stay locked inside of a classroom for a couple of hours, and the cops didn't do anything about it. So let's watch.
Yeah, you fucking transphobic bitch! I fucking see you! Trans rights are human rights! Trans rights are human rights! Push it down! Push it down! Trans rights are human rights! Trans rights are human rights!
So they're having to protect her from these violent maniacs.
Yeah, this is news to people that there's. Remember, you're going to get people killed, Dave Chappelle and this girl. No, they get attacked. Somebody tried to knife Chappelle with a knife gun.
So I saw somebody talk about this incident where they were attacking Riley Gaines physically and threatening her. So I'm going to describe this as, of course, the trans people are going to be violent, just like we were at Stonewall.
Just like dudes do.
No, it's the exact.
God, that's so insulting.
That's the exact opposite of what happened at Stonewall. It was they were trying to be left alone, and the cops were coming into the bar messing with the trans people. This is the trans people doing the exact opposite, going into the biological female spaces and messing with them. So they're now the trans people are now the cops in that Stonewall situation. And if you see an Amish fellow on YouTube try to slip that, now you know he's lying to you because he has a mental illness, and the mental illness is whatever he's got wrong with him. He needs therapy. So this is not like Stonewall whatsoever, which would happen in New York decades ago when the cops were fucking with the trans people and beating them up and arresting them and sexually assaulting them. And so they fought back against the cops.
It was also gays.
This is not that. This is the trans people assaulting biological females and invading their space and fucking with them. It's the exact opposite of Stonewall. Now they're the baddies. And so if you see an Amish fellow on YouTube try to tell you the opposite, now you know he's lying and he's mentally ill. The guy's mentally deranged.
I can't believe, Jimmy, so you have to educate an Amish person about what happened at Stonewall.
Riley Gaines. So now, by the way, the people who kept her hostage, they literally kept her hostage and assaulted her, they're not being prosecuted. She's expressed her disgust after she said she was informed by police that nobody will be charged over an incident in April 2023 when demonstrators shut down a talk she was giving at the San Francisco State University. During the incident, parts of which were recorded and shared on social media, she alleges she was assaulted twice, barricaded in a room as an effective hostage, and had her life threatened. She's a former college swimmer, so she had to swim against Leah Thomas, and she argued that the inclusion of transgendered athletes in women's competitions is unfair and said she was required to share a changing room with the biological male, Leah Thomas. So they're not going to charge anybody. It's pretty chilling that we live in a society like that. So Mel K, what do you have to say about this?
Well, I want to say one thing for sure is what you read before and what Dr. Phil was saying and all of that. They have no studies about these drugs. And how do we know that these drugs aren't psychologically making these people violent and full of rage and full of that? This is like one of many, many episodes, A. And B, you know, the bigger picture here is that college campuses are allowing this, just like they're allowing everything else. But at the same time, they're also breeding it. There is a whole kind of movement there that's going on. So we have like campuses filled with people that are on all these drugs, and they just go crazy. And I think the other thing to also think about here is is why are we tolerating this? And why is it that then, because they are violent, because we just had that transgender shooter in Tennessee, that they don't even want to talk about that. They don't want to show the manifesto. They should be showing both sides of what's going on with these people. And I really think that it's a mental health crisis. And that, like you said, there's no evidence of anything long term, because they're not even looking at that. And it's very scary and very sad.
We do know, though, bodybuilders, these drugs, this is amazing. For years, bodybuilders would take these hormone drugs. They take female hormones to balance out the other crap they were taking. And actually, no, we know a lot of the effects, and it's crazy.
Right.
They become, like, when I say sexual degenerate, I don't mean in a Bible way. I mean they get depraved like they're on 28 balls of coke. The hormones do things to you. And these were grown men doing it. And a lot of them died at 40. In fact, now with the vaccine, a lot of them die. So, no, we do know the effects. A lot of these drugs have been tested for years on people, but the way the system works is you can't take that info and apply it to this officially. Right. You know, like with the hair stuff.
Yeah.
You have to say it only grows the back of your hair, even though it grows the front, because they didn't test. Right. No, we know what happens. It fucks people up. Most of those people probably aren't even trans. Most of them are probably on brain drugs and Ozempic.
Right.
There's only, how many trans are there in the world? 3? It's the crazy class of people that they've had whipped up in a frenzy to deploy at these scenes.
The trans athletes are now the bullies, right? They smash everything in their way, and then they cry like they're the victims. Trans athletes are the Israel of sports.
I didn't see Leah Thomas there. I saw a bunch of wing nuts from the college. The trans athletes aren't hanging out and facing that. Those minions are doing that.
All right.
They're getting messed up on the campuses, though. I'm telling you, I had a girl on that, like, she had to go through deep programming because she went to school and suddenly she was like a militant, angry, crazy lesbian, and she wasn't that before. And then she left college and had to get her shit together. But I mean, look at that rage and that anger. That's coming from somewhere else. It's not coming from testosterone. Sane children.
That's coming from testosterone.
She's on D-Bowl.
Yeah.
Anyway, we have to run. Mel K. Everybody check out the Mel K show. It's been a real delight having you, talking with you. And I hope we can. Now, where do you live now?
Oh, I moved down to Florida. So I'm living in West Palm Beach, Florida. And so I am in a new world here. It's much better. New York City had gotten, it was done. So
okay.
I'm happy here.
Well, listen, we come to West Palm to do comedy. I hope we can hook up and we can.
We will. And everyone should check me out. I've been kicked off of YouTube for about 4 years now. So check me out on Rumble and free speech places. And I appreciate it. I hope we do it again. Really fun. And also great being on with you, Kurt, and everyone here. I really appreciate it.
Hey, come see us live on tour in Los Angeles, Palm Springs, Stockholm, Amsterdam, Rotterdam, Berlin, Copenhagen, Oslo, Stroudsburg, Pennsylvania, Cortland, New York, Oakmont, Pennsylvania, right outside Pittsburgh, El Paso, and San Antonio, Texas. Go to jimmydore.com for a link for all those tickets.